Hi, I'm Norman Moore. I've been noticing in this COVID-19 virus crisis that there's a variety of perspectives and viewpoints being expressed from individuals or media. How we see a situation is highly determinative. There's an example of that in Mark's Gospel, chapter 6, verse 34. When Jesus landed and saw a large crowd, he had compassion on them, because they were like sheep without a shepherd, so he began teaching them many things. By this time it was late in the day, so his disciples came to him. "This is a remote place," they said, "and it's already very late. Send the people away so they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat." But he answered, "You give them something to eat." They said to him, "That would take 8 months of a man's wages. Are we to go and spend that much on bread and give it to them to eat?" "How many loaves do you have?" he asked. "Go and see." When they found out, they said, 5 and 2 fish. We have two contrasting perspectives here. Jesus saw a large crowd. He felt compassion. He observed them as sheep without a shepherd. So what? So he began teaching them many things. He immediately jumped in the middle of need-oriented, helpful, caring teaching ministry because it was filled with compassion for them. The disciples, coming from a different direction, thinking of their own needs, he said, "Hey, this is a remote place. Send the people away so they can go to the surrounding countryside and villages and buy themselves something to eat." These disciples had been with the Lord in travel and in ministry all day long. It was near sundown. They were tired and hungry. They want to get home and get some dinner. And Jesus said, "If you really care about these folks, feed them yourself." Our perspective is not always perfectly aligned with the Lord's perspective. It would be helpful for us, especially during this COVID-19 virus crisis, to say, "Lord, show me your perspective in our country, in our family, in our neighborhood, in our city today." Jesus saw a large crowd, felt compassion, observed them as sheep without a shepherd. The disciples, reading on a different page, coming from a different direction, say, "Hey, it's late, it's remote, send them away so they can go, and us too." And Jesus rebuked them and said, "If you really care about them, feed them yourself." Sometimes we need to call time out and get alone with the Lord and ask for His wisdom and His insight and His viewpoint on the current situation. There's a promise in James 1, verse 5. "If any of you lack wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him." You lack wisdom about what perspective would be appropriate for you to embrace and implement in these current days? There's a promise for you. Ask wisdom. Let's seek the Lord's perspective and pursue accordingly. God bless you today.